seconds of silence. And then we can get started.
A moment of silence out of the way.
I think that clock is a little off. So I now show it's 6:30, so we'll call the meeting to order. Ms. Branham, did we notify the media?
We did.
Thank you, and I do declare that we have a quorum with all board members present. We will need a motion to approve our agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I just want to welcome everyone for being here tonight. Mr. Compton and Miss Vanity Butler are here with us from LDHS. And Miss Vanity Butler is the LDHS Student Body President, and she will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Butler. And Mr. Jenkins, if you would lead us in prayer.
Let's bow in prayer. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we are thankful for the opportunity for us to gather here tonight to look at the business of Lawrence District 55. It's my prayer and hope that you will give all of us insight and wisdom in the decisions that we need to make so that we can further the education of our students and help our teachers have an environment where they can teach and help these kids grow and to learn. We look to you for guidance. In your son's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. We will now need approval for minutes for the March 25th and the April 9th meeting. If we could get a motion.
Yeah, I make a motion we accept the minutes for those two dates.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes from March 25th and April 9th, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. And now we will move into our report from Lawrence District 55 High School with Mr. Lewis Compton.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to come and share a little bit about the goings-on at Lawrence High School. It's a very busy place, a very exciting place and time to be in high school and to be there, and I'm just excited to be able to share a few things with you tonight. As we begin, one thing, our mission at Lawrence High School is to graduate our students and to equip them with the tools necessary to be successful in life, and that's sort of our driving mission and things that we look for each time or every day that we come to work, the things that we can prepare our students to be successful in life. Get that where we can see it. Make sure I'm doing it correctly. Our goal is to create a positive school culture and climate, increase our graduation rate. These are one of the things that we've worked on for the past 2 years, is sort of fostering a safe environment for our students, to encourage, maintain respectful and trusting and caring relationships, and just promoting a supportive academic and disciplinary and physical environment in the school. Just very quickly through our demographics, our student population, male, female. We have 1,428 students on our Power School roll currently. Population broken down by grade level. You see our 9th grade coming in at 440, and then our graduating class this year at 308. We want to work to build that positive culture every day, and just having our students, the relationships that they build there with our teachers, with our staff, and with each other. It's just so important to building a positive culture, and it's a place to be, a place of learning. Obviously, we want our students safe and our staff at all times, and we're using our weapons detectors we at school and athletic events. periodic law enforcement safety sweeps, and then designated pathways for transitions. A little bit of our discipline data. The 2 years we've been there, we've tried to sort of track our discipline and just pulled up some of our just random things off Power School, and just to see the drop, and hopefully this is a reflective of the positive culture that's doing. We've reduced our number, about 70% of our incidences, and even though we want to get better and continue to improve, this does, I think, reflect, the data sort of shows that it's an atmosphere of learning, and I really want to thank our admin team and our teachers and our staff for growing this each day. Our attendance information, again, this is an area that we continue to work on, is attendance. Of making sure that we have our students in school learning, but we need our community and our parents and all of us working together to improve this area of our school. But it's something that we work on, and it is improving as we move along and as we have been there for the past 2 years. Our initiatives of building high-quality instruction, we want to continue to focus on the 4.0 rubric. And I know you've probably heard talking about the rubric from every principal that's been in here. But again, it's just good, sound teaching practices, just to help our teachers grow in their craft. And it's really, I call it, so as from a football coach, it's just good fundamentals of teaching. You know, it's just the good basics, the stuff it's just good teaching, and just sort of re-emphasizing and bringing that to grow our teachers. And in working with the NIET, this professional support of learning, and as we move forward through the program we're moving into next year, to provide that feedback through observations, not evaluations, but just teacher observations for them to grow, just to give them feedback as to how they can improve and what they're doing good and how we can grow our students. Some of our high quality instruction, we've worked with our math very diligently the past 2 years, trying to grow help our teachers become better math teachers, our students to grow there. And so I want to give a real shout out to our teachers. We've really embraced the PLCs, the professional learning communities, where our teachers come together. They share ideas with each other and just sort of bounce ideas and see what's working in my class, what's not working, and what we can do better. And they've really embraced that and doing a really good job with that. Also, our U.S. history, we continue to work with our history, our teachers in our history department. Nick Elliott, our instructional coach, and Melissa Intrican have worked diligently in helping to grow our U.S. history and to help our end of EOC scores improve in U.S. history as well. We also offer 11 AP courses, and with 135 students enrolled in AP courses. This is something we'd like to see grow. We want to see more students in AP to increase that rigor of our student body. So we still want to continue to grow those, but we do offer 11 with 3 new ones added this year. Again, thinking about our high quality instruction, our career readiness, these are the project Lead the Way, 15 seniors on track to be completers, 8 in digital arts, 2 in sports medicine, and 9 in auto tech. We have 55 seniors with certifications, whether it be OSHA, wind testing, the things that will give them a certification for college and career readiness. Again, looking at some of our data, of our academic data, tracking our English EOC scores over the past, since 2018. We want to work to continue that. The bottom number you see is our fall, was just first semester EOC scores, compared to 2023 would be the entire year. So we're off to a good start in EOC. We hope that our spring EOC testing will maintain that and continue to grow our scores to make them better. Also in biology, this is an area that we're working to improve on, want to continue to grow. We got a little work to do there, but we're going to continue to work growing our EOC in biology. Our U.S. history, again, our fall scores have been very positive, and hopefully we can carry that on into the spring testing in a couple of weeks, beginning in May. Again, we're moving forward. We'll continue to focus on this 4.0 rubric, that good fundamentals of teaching, because we know that the number one impact of student learning is in the classroom. When you shut the doors and close those doors, it's the teacher that has the greatest impact. And we're all there to support the teaching and learning in our classrooms. Continue that professional learning around evidence-based practices of what's working. You know, what's working, we're going to keep on. If it's not working, we'll work to move away from that and to go to what's working in our classes as we work with our PLCs and teachers work together on to what's working, what's not. Now, we've talked a lot about data, a lot about numbers, but we all know that with anything, you can't just look at one piece of data to measure success. You know, as we continue our mission of graduating our students and equipping them to be successful in life, the celebration and achievement on the next few slides are just as important. We had our winter graduation, where we began in 2018 with 6 graduates. We're now up to 45 winter graduates this past year. Our dual enrollment classes, our middle colleges will be our 3rd graduating class to participate in that. We began the 2+2 program with Presbyterian College and Piedmont Tech. And we have 137 students in dual enrollment classes at Lawrence High School. Some of our student achievements is our FFA has continued to do very well. Some of our students have actually won state events. Luke Penland was the individual tractor safety operations high individual at the state competition. Our livestock evaluation team finished 2nd. And we had at the Lawrence County Spotlight, our agricultural students of the year were Luke Penland and Matthew Starling. So we were very excited about our ag program and the achievements that they're achieving with the different things and different programs they're involved in. Also other student achievements through our band, our sporting clays team, our anglers, and our Robots Garage. Our Robots Garage team just competed in the World Championships. We were one of only 35 teams that has made it to the World Championships over the last 8 years, and these are teams from all around the world, not just in the United States. So we're just very excited about the strength of our program. They really are. A lot of other teams come and want to know, you know, what are y'all doing and to gain information from us. Very quickly, we finished 1st in South Carolina, 5th in the Peachtree region, which includes part of Georgia, where you're dealing with a lot of money being funneled into those programs through Georgia in and around Atlanta. 153rd in the U.S. and 175 worldwide in our division. So our guys did a fantastic job this year. Student achievements through Piedmont Rural Telephone. We had a student that's going to attend Washington Youth. Our Challenge Smallwood, we had the DAR sponsored contest. And so we have lots of students involved in doing many good things at the high school. Our sports is very important to all of us, our community, and to our student athletes. And we've had a number of athletes to achieve all region in the fall and winter. Spring, all region athletes will be decided on this week and next week, the voting by the coaches. We've had our coaches of the year with tennis and also with our competitive cheer this year. Congratulations to our Raider baseball team. This past Friday, they clinched the Region 2 Region Championship and will begin playoffs next week at home. So we'd love to have everyone that come out and support our Raider baseball team, as they will be at home throughout the playoffs as long as we keep winning and doing well. So very proud of all of our sports. Our boys tennis team qualified for the state playoffs. They will begin tomorrow. And our softball team will qualify for the state playoffs, probably be on the road. And our track team going forward, we're coming up with our all-region and our region tournament, our region meet. We'll have players and teams competing at the region level, and we feel pretty certain that we'll be able to move on to the state in many of those as well. I've got a short video. sometimes it's the smallest moments that create the greatest school memories. And one thing I want you to know that we're always, our EOC scores, our data is always important. And we're always, and we're never, our graduation rate, all of those things that are reflected on our school report card and make us, we want our district to look good, we want our school to look good. But there's more to a high school memory and high school students than just data and just numbers. Because if you all think back, you know, it's probably not those tests that we remember, but it's the relationships that we build. It's the times we're on those buses coming home, talking with our friends. It's our experiences in our band, in our classrooms. It's the relationships with our teachers and our classmates. And it's making those connections. That's what's important to me. And that's that culture that I want to build, that when our students leave, they're proud to be a Raider. And, you know, the saying, once a Raider, always a Raider. I want them to feel that. I want that to be a part of them, that they are so excited to be. And as we get ready to celebrate this class of 24, you know, I want those relationships that they've built, that's what sticks with you, and that's what's with you. And I think those things help equip our students. All the activities, you can see, I know I've sort of went fast to get through a lot of things, but I wanted you to have an idea of there's so much going on and so many opportunities for our students to be involved in things. I'm just so excited about the things we're doing. You know, we don't get it right every day, but every day we try to get it right, and that's what we do. That's what I assure folks, that, you know, every day we're trying to do it right. I'm so proud of our teachers and our staff. They work hard. They work really hard, and you shut those doors, you close those doors every day, and you go to work and to help our students in there, and our admin team and all of our support staff at the high school. They just do a fantastic job, and I just really appreciate what they do for our students. But I really appreciate our students. We got good students. We got good students at Lawrence High School, and it's something that we can all be proud of, and I'm proud of them. And I'm looking forward to celebrating this class of 24 in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share this with you tonight. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach Compton. And now I'll turn it over to Dr. Penland and Dr. Harris for the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Have a few announcements that I want to make you aware of. On Monday night, next Monday morning, we'll be hosting the district finals of our multiplication challenge. All elementary schools in the district have already held their school-based competitions, where students in grades 3, 4, and 5 have completed in 4-member teams to determine school winners. On Monday, those school winners will be here to compete to determine our district grade level winners. 3rd grade students will compete in a multiplication only competition. 4th and 5th grade students will have multiplication and division problems, and that is next Monday here on Monday morning at 9 a.m. We are gearing up for our summer school programs. Just wanted to give you an update on that program. We'll have the majority of our summer schools combined in 2 to 3 sites. We'll have E.B. Morris hosting all of the in-town elementary schools students. Lawrence Middle for our in-town middle school. Our rural schools will be served by Hickory Tavern, and of course the high school will house all the high school students. All other elementary schools will host a CERDEP 4K summer school class for their incoming 4K students. And Wanda Knight and the student nutrition team have submitted our summer meal program applications and are ready to feed our students this summer. Also, the beginning of May, starting on May 3rd, we'll have our state testing window open for SC Ready and end of course. And so we ask our parents to be on the lookout for the schedules that will be coming from the schools for their testing schedules during May. And also, next Monday, interim reports will go home, which means that we have 4.5 weeks of school left. So time has flown by, and we are getting ready to wrap it up and end the school year. So I'll turn it over. You want to go on to Amanda? Okay. And we'll turn it over to Amanda next.
Hello. Hi, I'm Amanda Lackrose. This is a reminder. I'm the Director of Accountability, Federal Programs, and Professional Learning. So I'm going to talk with you tonight about 3 different things. The first requires board action, where we are going to talk a little bit about federal programs. We have 5 different federal entitlements that we apply for each year, and we need permission from the board in order to file for those funds. Let me talk to you a little bit about what we've done to identify how we want to allocate that money once we know what those amounts will be. Usually by this time of the year we know that. We do not know that. The state is not aware of that either because the federal government has not given entitlements. So I don't know if we're going to go up, we're going to go down, or we're going to stay the same. But either way, we've still been able to move forward with a comprehensive needs assessment. We have taken input from a variety of stakeholders through our school improvement plans, through our update meetings, through our school improvement committee meetings, through federal program personnel meetings. I've met with all of our federal program personnel and gotten their feedback, with principals, as well as we had a district stakeholder meeting last Wednesday afternoon, and we had teachers, parents, community members, school leaders, and district leaders involved in all of those, but we're at the final meeting on April 17th. All 9 schools, plus Lawrence Preparatory Academy, were all involved in the comprehensive needs assessment. And the identified areas of need based on our data that we looked at throughout the district, number 1 is culture and climate. Our attendance, it needs to be better, and our behavior is an area of concern, and both of those are indicators that we need to focus on our culture and climate within the school. Usually you would think as a school improvement person I'd be talking about student achievement first, but we can't have student achievement if we don't have a healthy culture and climate. So that is one of the big pieces that we will focus our entitlement applications on, along with, of course, our student achievement across the board. We'd like to see everybody improve in our proficiency ratings, and so Tier 1 instruction is what everybody gets. But in particular, we have 2 subgroups that stand out as being significantly different than the others, and that is our multilingual learners and our special education students. So with that kind of overarching comprehensive needs assessment, we currently, this is how we spend our money. We have some required set-asides that we have to do with Title I, with homeless and grant administration, but then at the district level, we fund parent liaisons and summer school. And then at the schools, we have interventionists, instructional coaches, which we will not need to fund next year in our entitlements, because as you may remember, the Lawrence Learns grant will be funding for master teachers, which will take the place of instructional coaches at least for the next 2 years. Instructional supplies, field trips, professional development, things like that. Title II and Title IV is more district-wide focused. In that we allocate the money. We use funds for class size reduction. We have hired an additional teacher at Ford for a number of years to keep the class sizes down. We're looking at adding an additional one for this coming year at Lawrence Elementary to kind of help out with the budget and things like that. Title II is primarily professional development, and Title IV, that is where we fund the majority of our mental health counselors from. And then there's Title III, which is to increase English language proficiency for our multilingual students. So we provide professional development for those teachers, as well as different resources and parent and community engagement activities with that. So that's how we currently spend our money. The identified priorities after having all of those meetings and then bringing that large group together last Wednesday, we had a list of things that we currently do, as well as some recommendations from the stakeholder meetings. And these are the things that they identified as their top priorities. That doesn't mean we won't fund other things if we're able to, but these are the things that we will target first. So in the area of personnel, academic interventionists from the K-2 level, which we have been doing. Also from the 3 to 5 level, which we have been funding those through ESSER funds, which will be going away at the end of this summer. Behavior interventionists came out as a significant area to target moving forward, both at Lawrence Preparatory Academy and at the elementary school. Class size reduction, people want us to continue to see us use that to leverage our class sizes, mental health counselors, parent liaisons, and then in the area of professional learning, conscious discipline, professional development and resources, which is really the culture and climate approach that we are targeting to use for Tier 1 for all students throughout the district. Some Tier 2, which is that additional support that some students need if they're not getting it with what everybody else gets. So both professional development for our teachers for that, as well as resources, effective use of data, professional development. We've done letters in K through 3, and there is a desire to continue that for grades 4 and 5. Multilingual learners in the general education classroom, because we have so many students that are multilanguage learners. Our classroom teachers would like to know more strategies to be more effective with them. And then, of course, just our safety, drug, gang violence, professional learning for staff has also been requested. As far as programming, there's Lexia English, which is a personalized literacy program for our multilanguage learners, parent engagement, community engagement, and then safety technology, things like cameras and metal detectors and things like that. So those are our primary identified priorities. And so I'll stop right here to ask, are there any questions about the process or what we've identified? And then I need a approval for us to apply for the federal entitlement funds.
Is there any questions? Okay. We will need a motion to approve and move forward with Ms. Lacroix's request.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we qualify the programming, the 2024-25 federal programs report.
Second.
Request of those funds.
Is there any discussion or questions? All right. All those in favor of authorizing the superintendent or the designee to file the federal program funding for 24-25 school years, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Thank you.
One of the other things is our LEARNS grant, which is Lawrence Educators Achieving Results to Net Success, requires us to give quarterly updates to you all. So I'm going to try to be pretty quick about this, but there's a lot that we have done in the past 3 months. So the last meeting that we had, this was the last slide of where we said these were our next steps for the LEARNS grant. Our grant, as you recall, has 4 primary components: multiple career paths, ongoing applied professional growth, instructionally focused accountability, and performance-based compensation. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we've done in each of the areas. So as far as multiple career paths, we are in the process of finalizing our master teacher hiring. We have identified and/or hired 18 out of the 20 master teachers for next school year. I believe after this evening we'll be at 18. Teaching specialists, which are TAP mentor teachers, we're in the process of hiring those as well and identifying those in our individual schools. The principals are doing that piece of it. As far as applied professional growth, we had 22 district administrators, building administrators, as well as instructional coaches that majority of them will be either reading coaches or master teachers next year, attend the NIET Winter Conference. And from that, we got together and had a team planning session at the end of the conference to discuss next steps. We also had a master scheduling work session that Dr. Pinland, Ms. Abercrombie, and myself facilitated with the principals to help really work on master schedules for next year to ensure that we have our weekly cluster meetings to ensure that the professional growth for teachers is taking place on a regular basis. The performance-based compensation committee has been created. We have met 3 different times, and they have identified a minimum of 3 essential components for consideration for the performance-based compensation model. The work that they have done was just presented to the advisory board about 2 hours before this meeting, and we've gotten their feedback with that. We will then bring that to a few other groups before finalization of the performance-based compensation model for next school year. We also will take in input from all teachers within the district before we finalize that model. And finally, the last piece is about sustainability, and really that is, we have an advisory board, and the primary purpose of the advisory board is to guide us and give us input as to where the community would like to see us go with this grant. So again, if there's anybody on the board that would like to join the advisory committee, we meet once every quarter, and it's right before the board meeting. So if there's anybody that would like to do that, and then we will be adding an additional 2 to 3 community members. So if one wants to be a school board member, that's great, but we will also encourage others to join us because we're looking at how can we move forward with this. If we find this is working for us, how can we keep this sustainable for the Lawrence community? So the other quarterly update that I'm required to do as well with a different hat is the turnaround plans. So as you recall, we wrote turnaround plans for 4 of our schools that were presented to you in December, and we have 4 different plans with things that are going on. We did, we diagnosed, we identified focused areas, we created plans, and now we're in the 2 bold sections. We are implementing them with fidelity, and we're monitoring and evaluating how we're doing. We've done a 30-day review, we've done a 60-day review, and so I'll share a little bit about some of the things that have gone on. Each of the 4 plans had monthly team meetings, so our teachers have been meeting for 1 full day each month, the grade level teams or the department teams at the high school level. And they have all received training on the assessment tools that they're using so that they can better access the data that's available to them. They have also all received professional learning on effective use of data to lead their instruction. It's great to know what the data says, but then we also need to know what to do with it. And so what we are leading to is ultimately a district data protocol that we will use throughout the entire district. And then we also have begun the PLC meeting protocol training with these groups. This is how we look at data. This is how we take that data and then do something with it, is all part of the PLC process, which ultimately will be what we will use when we move into cluster meetings with the Lawrence grant. So these 4 schools will kind of be a leg up. You may have heard me mention Lexia English, that we will be hopefully using some of our federal entitlement money for. Lexia English is an online personalized program that provides activities and targeted teacher instruction to move literacy levels for our multilingual learners. We have 398 multilingual learners that have been initially placed already. This school year we started in March with that, so our ML teachers are using that on a regular basis. And the instruction that they're providing in the classroom is specifically targeted to that student's literacy level. Conscious discipline training is continuing for 4K teachers, guidance counselors, and mental health counselors, and then we will be moving with a 3-year implementation plan district-wide, but these schools have had some things already. At the high school, we have our incentive program that is already starting with to encourage EOC engagement in our EOC. So if you look at some of the progress, we are pleased with the growth in December from our EOC scores. Technically, they are embargoed, so I can't tell you any more about that, but we are pleased with what we've seen. As far as, I don't think that transitioned over very well, but the Lexia English, we have 6 students out of the 398 already that have moved a literacy level. And so let me just explain that there are 6 WIDA proficiency bands from K to 12, and that equals 12 levels. So a student that started on the program in the end of February, we have 6 of them that have already moved an entire level, and that's over a half a year's worth of growth in literacy using this program. So we're pleased with that. And then you can see the growth in reading and in math at each of our elementary schools. I believe you can see that we have quite a bit of growth as far as from winter to spring. Some of our students have not tested in grades 1 and 2 yet, so we don't have that data in there yet, but that's what we're looking at right now as far as 3, 4, and 5, grades 3, 4, and 5. So we're seeing some growth there as well, particularly in the areas of reading. So we're pleased with that. So that's it, unless people have questions. Charlie.
Thank you, Ms. Lycurtis.
Thank you.
And now we'll move to Dr. Harris and the facilities report.
Okay, just want to give you a real quick update on some facilities things. First of all, the Sanders Wing Addition. The work at Sanders should have begun today. They will be working over there this week, over behind the school, behind the portables. They'll be cutting a road in back there in the back, down where there'll be a retention pond. So there'll be some site work going on first, and then we should be ready to go here very quickly. So the work has finally begun at Sanders. I know that's good news for everybody. I haven't talked to Mr. Dawkins today. I will see him or talk with him in the morning and see whether they actually got started today or not. But we're finally there, and the work is starting. As far as the high school pods are concerned, we talked a little bit last time I talked to you about roofing. We're going to be doing some work on those pods. We will be cleaning them. Right now we have what we call an RFQ, or a request for qualifications, out. We had that out. We've gotten things back from 7 or 8 contractors. We will be choosing 3 of those to take bids from. I had written down here that I was waiting on an email from a consultant that we use. I had not gotten that when I wrote that down. I got that just a little while ago, and so we're ready to go with that too. We're ready to call those folks in, have them out to the high school, look at the roofs, get up there, and tell them what we want, and then we'll be getting bids back pretty soon. So we'll be looking to do that work this summer. We'll also be sealing that roof. There'll be some asphalt sealing up around where the air conditioners are, and then the other will be a urethane type sealant, which will buy us about 10 years. I mentioned this last time, about 10 years warranty before we have to start replacing pods, and hopefully by then we'll have some type of building project in place where maybe we won't have to do that work, but trying to save a little money there and stretch that out a little bit. Ford Elementary, we're going to be pouring a good bit of money into Ford this summer. It just needs a lot of fixing up and a lot of cleaning up over there. And so we're gonna be painting. I had a paint contractor over there with me last week. We went through there. We'll put that out for bid, of course, and we'll look to put some shine on Ford over there. They just need some attention right now. So we're going to do that. Lawrence Middle also needs some classroom painting and hallway painting. We'll probably include that in it. And then Gray Court, in the older part of Gray Court, we're looking at some painting to be done in there as well. So that's on the horizon for us this summer. One of the most exciting things, maybe the most exciting thing going on right now in facilities, and it also goes with instruction, is the Cates Center. And we've had a meeting just recently with the architect and District 56 back on the 16th of this month. We talked about the layout of the building. The property that we're looking at is right across from the Chamber of Commerce out there, if you know where that is, out near the hospital. We're looking at the orientation of buildings and looking at the layouts, and we gave a lot of suggestions to the architect. They took those suggestions, they've gone back, they're putting that together now, and they'll come back with what we gave them as far as what we want, and they'll show us that in some further drawings. So we're getting very close. Now we still have to get the money from the state, but we really believe that we're going to get that money. Representative Gilliam has done a good job, and all the legislators for us have done a good job in trying to secure this money, and we fully believe that this project is going to go forward, and this is going to be a home run for our county and the students at both high schools in this county. So we're very excited about that, and we have another meeting that we'll have with them on April 26th at 1:30, and I'll let Dr. Penland, if you got anything you want to add about the Cates Center.
As part of the kind of site development and site kind of planning, we did look at 2 or 3 different locations. So they've come in and have done some site evaluation. The other one was out there near the CAM Center, and looking at the reports that we'll be reviewing next week, that looks like how much of the earth you'd have to move, how much grading, how much, where your water features are, where, you know, your zones for buffering around all that type of thing. So they've gone through and looked at the 2 to 3 pieces of property that we had access to as we move forward to kind of give us some feedback. And so that's where we're looking at going on Friday, and then also looking at the orientation of those buildings.
So just a quick question in regard to the funding for the Cates Center. So is the anticipation is to get full funding from the state for this project, or is there going to be requirements for a general budget from the districts?
The only general budget planning going forward would be to staff it and to maintain the facilities.
2 allocations is what we're looking at, about half in 1 year, and then the other half.
Thank you.
All right, going into the next item on the agenda will be our 2025-2026 school calendar. The following proposed calendar that's in your packet was approved upon by the Joint Calendar Committee from Lawrence 55 and Lawrence 56. We met a couple of times to discuss a couple of different calendar options, and with the stakeholders from the schools, we came back with a 75% in favor of this calendar that is being presented. The school year that we're in right now was kind of a prime, perfect fit for all the weeks to fall exactly correct within weekends and start dates and all that type of thing. We're working within a calendar requirement of 180 student days, 10 teacher work days, and then you look at where vacations and holidays and all that type of thing falls in. The current calendar that we're in this week did allow us to have 2 two-week breaks built in there. The calendar for next year does not allow that, and this calendar for the 25-26 also does not allow for the 2 full weeks at spring break and fall break. But we did build in the full weeks and kind of padded those a little bit, so we'll go through the discussion of that. The goal from the committee has been to still kind of non-touch June and July for students. So they're really trying to work within the August 1st start date for students to the last day of May as a possible day for students. So whenever you try to squeeze in the 190 days that's required, you kind of have to play some Tetris and really try to get everything worked in there. So as we look at the calendar, the August 28th, 29th is that parent-teacher conference day. That's tied to the interim report in the first 9 weeks. So that is also tied to Labor Day. So that gives the students a very long weekend there. The full week built in October with a teacher work day at the end, so it's a week and a day for students. This calendar we did, and the committee did like the full week at November for Thanksgiving. So they don't have the Monday, Tuesday on this calendar to go to school, so they'll have another full week there. So that's one of those kind of compromises versus having a week and a half in October. They went on to a full week for Thanksgiving. Still the 2 full weeks at Christmas, and then they built in time in February and March for student days and teacher days off there. The week and 2 days for spring break, which is in April, and then still graduating on May the 29th, which will be the last day for students. So this one will need approval. Do I have any questions on the calendar?
Looks good.
I have one question.
Sure.
There's a lot of Mondays that are out
Mhm.
for students that have like reading intervention or any other thing like that. Will they be able to make up that time at other times throughout the week?
So if they're scheduled for like intervention on that Mondays, the schools typically will work through rescheduling those short weeks and try to kind of either shorten time a little bit or add those times back. So that is something that the schools work with individual students to look at those, 15 kids that would have gotten it that day to kind of stagger them out throughout the week.
Any other questions? We will need a motion to approve the 25-26 school calendar.
I'll make the motion that we approve the 25-26 calendar.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the 25-26 district calendar, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you.
And now we will move into our finance and operations with Mr. Jim Lawless.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You should have received a copy of the financial report for the month of March 2024. Our balance with the Treasurer's Office at the end of the month was $12,768,421. General fund revenues for the first 9 months were $43,260,843, with expenditures for that period of $41,324,690. That's a difference of $936,153, and tax collections for the month of March were $1,119,794. Are there any questions about the financial report? Okay. As you all are aware, the district joined the Synergistic program a little over a year ago, and Philip Roberts has done a great job of implementing that program in our district buildings. And through the February of 2024 billing period, we estimate that the district has saved over $178,000 in utility spending. And that's nearly 11% over where we were prior to implementing. And we're still constantly striving to improve and save money while also maintaining a comfortable, safe learning and working environment for our students and staff. Sometimes issues will arise, and Philip and the maintenance team work together on a case-by-case basis to handle those as they arise. But overall, the program has been very successful for our district, and we appreciate the support of this board as we work to be better stewards of our financial and environmental resources. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lawless. And we did not have anyone sign up for public participation tonight, so we will need to now move into executive session to discuss certified employment contract recommendations. If we could get a motion. Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of moving into executive session to review certified employment contracts, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'd like to request Ms. Renee Madden to join us.
Yes, thank you. order. We do need to take board action on executive session, so if we could get a motion for the contract recommendations, please.
I make a motion to accept the contracts.
I'll second.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving the recommendations for certified employment contracts for school year 24-25 as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. And now we can adjourn. Mr. Hughes?
I so move.
All right, we're adjourned.